All right, so what have you been watching?
I watched a movie called Berberian Sound Studio from 2012.
What was that?
That was a weird movie. Starred Toby Jones. You know Toby Jones, right?
No.
Okay. In The Mist, he was kind of the short guy.
Yes.
Okay. He's really good. And so he was playing a sound recording guy who gets hired by an Italian movie company to basically work on their audio. And it was really cool at first. I really, really liked the first half of the movie where it's all just them working on the movie. All the people that he's working for are just complete dicks, and you want all of them to die. And they're working on a horror movie, and the only thing you actually ever see from it is the opening titles, which are really cool. And it was cool because they show the opening titles of the movie they're working on instead of showing opening titles for the movie you're watching. And it made it look really cool, and the way they were talking about it was really cool. It was about trying to figure out whether people are witches and torturing them and stuff to try to, like, I don't know, see if they're actual normal people or not. And as the movie went on, I thought what was going to happen was that the movie was going to start influencing them in real life or something like that. But it started going into, like, weird semi-abstract stuff where it was like what's really part of the movie and what's real life. And it was weird where there were scenes apparently happening in real life that all of a sudden were dubbed in Italian, and then scenes that we had seen before but now it's different actors, and it didn't really make sense. And then it ended. So the second half was really disappointing, but the first half was really cool.
Worth watching?
Yes, because that first half was so good. The cinematography was really good. Getting to see everybody do, like, sound effects with chopping up lettuce and sound effects of people getting chopped up and stuff like that was really cool. But it ends up being a very unsatisfying movie by the end. And Toby Jones is really good. And even the other actors were really good.
What else you got?
The only other thing I had time to watch this month was it was called Dinosaurs with an exclamation mark, and then A Fun-Filled Trip Back in Time with another exclamation mark, from 1987.
Are you 7 years old?
I was at one point, which I watched mostly for the Will Vinton claymation segments, which were really cool. But it was weird because it wasn't a documentary. It was kind of supposed to be like just an educational, fun little thing, but there was no actual information in the entire thing. If you didn't know what dinosaurs were, you still wouldn't really know what dinosaurs were. And I mean, it was just an excuse to kind of show little animated things with dinosaurs, but even what little information was there wasn't even accurate. I mean, they referenced pterosaurs as if they were dinosaurs, and I don't know, it was weird. And Fred Savage plays a kid that's trying to write a paper for school, but he doesn't know what to do, so he decides to write it on dinosaurs. And it's supposed to be like he learns about dinosaurs over the course of it, and by the end he's giving kind of his presentation, but he doesn't learn anything, and there's no information in the entire thing. So definitely recommended. No, the claymation was really cool and creepy in a really effective way. And that's all I watched.
Did you read anything?
I read The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes. That was the first of 5 short story collections, originally published in 1892. And that's as far as I've ever read with Sherlock Holmes, the first 2 novels and that first short story collection. And everybody always talks about how Moriarty makes Sherlock Holmes and whatever, and that he's nothing without, like, the villain. But he doesn't show up at all in any of those stories. So I think that's a load of crap, because they're still really
Even
good.
as like a mysterious figure in the shadows?
Yeah, there's nothing. There's nothing at all. All the stories are unrelated to each other. Some of them don't even involve any kind of crime or anything, which is kind of cool. They're just mysteries.
Yeah, like who stole my cocaine?
Yeah, that was the title of one of them, yeah. And that's all I read, because I don't read. No, because I didn't have time. Well, actually, I read a lot of other short stories and stuff, but I'm not going to talk about them until I finish those books.
I watched Fight Club, which I know I've seen at least once.
Yeah, I've only seen it once. I thought it was hugely overrated.
And that's like 1999, I think.
Yeah.
But it kind of escaped the feeling of being an early 2000s movie. There were some things, yeah, but overall, it wasn't bad.
Yeah, I think the kinds of people, there's a certain type of person that really likes that movie, and it's usually people that probably don't get it at all, and, like, couldn't even tell you what the movie was about. They just like the idea of a fight club.
You really think that's the only people?
Not the only people, but the people that are like, that's my favorite movie ever. And I know the author kind of says the same thing. He's like, people that keep talking to me about Fight Club don't get Fight Club. And I know he's kind of disappointed that that's the one that people always point to of the things that he's written.
Well, that's what made him famous, so.
Yeah, and he seems like kind of a weirdo, but anyway.
Well, he wrote this book. I know I've read the book at some point too, but I don't really remember it.
Sounds like a great one.
I watched The Wrestler, which I've never seen before.
Yeah, wasn't that Darren Aronofsky?
Yeah.
I don't like him as a person, and I don't think he's that great of a filmmaker either.
I thought the movie was good. Give me some other movies he's done.
Like Requiem for a Dream, which again everybody seems to love. I don't like it.
I like that one.
Black Swan, which I thought was okay.
I've only seen that one once. I don't remember it.
The Fountain, which had some really cool visual stuff, but it didn't really make sense.
Yeah, I've never seen that one.
I feel like his movies, they're kind of like, you're supposed to think that they're deep, but they're not.
This one, I can definitely tell you, this one feels more like it feels more like a normal movie.
Yeah.
It's just following Mickey Rourke along his post years after wrestling.
Would you recommend it?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, I won't watch it then.
I know they showed it to a bunch of wrestlers.
And they all fell asleep.
There's this anecdote going around that Roddy Piper burst into tears at the end of it, which
yeah, but
I don't
that's
know
Roddy Piper. Eh? That seems like something he would just do at random anyway.
This pizza is so good.
He always seemed like a bit of a weirdo. I was watching some stuff about They Live yesterday, and I don't know.
Well, I think you just have to have a certain mentality if you're going to be a wrestler anyway, you know?
I mean, I can't imagine Hulk Hogan suddenly bursting into tears. I mean, maybe now.
I don't know if he's physically capable of doing that without steroids.
Good point.
But yeah, I did enjoy it. I wasn't sure if I was going to. And I know you like Marissa Tomei, so you can see her 99% naked.
I never said that I liked her.
You have a fan club.
Uh-huh. I mean, she is the best Aunt May. She's the most accurate to the comics. She's almost as hot as she is in the comics.
But your hottest one is still Rosemary, what's-her-face?
Yeah, what is it, Rosemary Harris? Is that her name?
I don't know.
Yeah, Rosemary Harris.
Acting like you don't know. She did give my favorite delivery of the Lord's Prayer.
I knew you were going to say that.
I mean, when I'm saying it, I finish it the same way. People are like, wow, he must be really, really good. The first Resident Evil went into free with Prime, so I watched that.
We just watched that not that long ago.
Yeah, but I was awake this time.
Okay.
And then the second one was on there too, so I watched that. Which was Resident Evil Apocalypse. I like how they didn't even give it numbers, even from the second one.
Yeah, because they knew it would probably be even more confusing if people tried to put them in an order that made sense.
Right.
Oh, man.
And they were both things.
Yeah. That's probably the most polite way to describe them.
The only part I was disappointed about was the character called Kmart. Didn't get introduced until the third one.
Oh, I've heard about Kmart, but I don't actually know who that is. So the only ones that I've seen in their entirety are the first two.
I think it's just so wild how they're supposedly based on the games. You know?
Yeah, well, we'll be doing our reviews of those, so we can talk about those later.
I just love all the things they throw in there. You know, when the one dude is transforming and you just hear the scientist go, I want him in the Nemesis program. And you're supposed to go, oh, man!
Well, I mean, that was my reaction when I saw it back in 2002 or whatever, so. Back when I was very much a Resident Evil fanboy.
Well, I was playing the first one, the GameCube version of it.
The inferior version, yeah. No, I really do prefer the PlayStation version, but they're both good.
And I was still living at home at the time, and my dad was walking by, and he watched me play for a little bit, and he goes, this doesn't look anything like the movie. It made me so mad.
Yeah, where's like the half-naked chick jumping all around and doing all these acrobatic things?
Yeah, when is the mansion going to explode and turn out to be a 5,000-foot shaft that someone's going to jump down and shoot guns, then their bullets are going to somehow go faster than them or whatever. Oh yeah, okay, so this one just kind of popped up. I just felt like watching something I'd never heard of. So I watched this movie called Stay Tuned. Have you ever heard of it?
No.
So it's an early 90s movie with John Ritter, and he's obsessed with TV. And it's very much like a family type movie. If I had seen this movie as a kid, I probably would have liked it. So he's obsessed with TV, and it's making this rift in his marriage. And Jeffrey Jones plays like a demon, basically, and he gives him this huge TV with this big-ass satellite dish in the backyard, but the satellite dish, like, sucks stuff into the TV, and because it's a hell TV, all they have... You know how UHF does all the parody movies and stuff? It's the same thing, but they're all hell-related, which some of them are kind of clever. But then, if John Ritter can stay alive for 24 hours going through all these different channels, then he'll be like redeemed or whatever. So they do a lot of, parodies on stuff, and they even throw in a Three's Company thing, which I thought was stupid, especially because I imagine most kids watching the movie in the 90s would not know what the hell that was.
Yeah, but there were parents watching it too.
I feel bad for those parents.
I mean, you're making it sound like something that I should check out.
I don't know. He has 2 kids. One of them can act, kind of, and one of them cannot. And when it cuts back to them trying to save their parents, kind of like a Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type thing, or Honey, We Shrunk Ourselves. I don't know. I get them lost in the whole lore of that series. But those parts were dumb. I was expecting it to be really bad, but it was competently made.
I'll check it out. It definitely sounds like I should check it out.
I finished up Gotham and watched seasons 4 and 5.
Oh, yeah, I have 1 episode left.
So we'll talk about that eventually. I watched Castlevania, the new season of that.
Yeah, I gotta get caught up. I've only seen the first 2 seasons so far.
The show feels like it continues as one whole thing, which I kind of like. It doesn't feel like it drifts into a totally different direction.
And is it still good?
I liked it.
Okay.
Oh, I watched the 2nd season, or volume, or whatever, of Love, Death, and Robots.
Okay, I never finished the first one.
There were some in the first one I really liked, and there were some I really didn't like.
Yeah.
The second one, though, I thought it was good. I thought all of them were good, actually. Because the first one gained so much traction, apparently, that more people were interested, so they maybe had a bigger budget. They felt freer to try more experimental stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I wonder how the production goes on those, because it's all different people doing them.
I watched Stand By Me.
Okay, I've never seen it, but I have read the story.
I know I've read this story. And as I was watching it, I kept having this inner conflict of, have I watched this before, or am I just thinking of the story that I know I read? I thought it was one of those movies that would just stick with people as something they remember and just have fond memories of. I didn't think it was groundbreaking or anything.
Was it one of those 80s movies where the kids don't feel like real kids and it keeps reminding you that you're watching a movie? Because I don't like those kind of movies.
They did feel like kids.
Okay.
Kiefer Sutherland being the older kid, he never looks young to me. You know what I mean? So he's supposed to be a teen, an older teen, but he still looks like he's just jumped out at 24. I watched Chinatown, which I've never seen.
Yeah, I remember being really disappointed by that one.
I'm not a huge fan of Jack Nicholson, but I thought he did good in this. I usually like his more esoteric roles,
I think you just wanted to use that word.
Yeah. No, I liked it.
Yeah, I will say I'm not a big fan of crime movies in the first place. I don't like gangster movies or mob movies. I just don't care.
I know it has all these accolades of being the best screenplay ever written, stuff like that.
But I doubt it's as good as Suburban Commando.
I thought it was good. I didn't think it was the greatest thing ever. Oh, I needed a movie, just some nonsense movie to fall asleep to. So I'm going to admit it. I watched Cradle to the Grave. Where 2 is the number 2.
Yeah.
I don't actually know if it's a sequel to anything. I don't think it is.
I don't think so, no. I haven't seen it, but I remember when it came out.
So you got Jet Li. There's something about drugs.
Yeah, some rapper.
Some lap dance. Maybe that was the rapper's name. Is there a rapper named Lap Dance?
Probably.
It was a terrible movie, obviously.
Do you know who directed it? I assume it was a completely American production.
Just trying so hard to just be as cool as possible. Make you go, that is so badass. Like, every part of it. I honestly couldn't tell you what really happened in it.
That sounds like Unleashed. Isn't he on a leash in that movie?
Until he was unleashed.
That's weird, because I was thinking about rewatching that a couple days ago.
I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Bob Hoskins was in it, so.
Oh, yeah, Jet Li has that huge fight with Bob Hoskins.
Yeah, where he's flipping all around and smacking Jet Li with his stomach and stuff.
Well, no, Jet Li's doing the physical fighting, and Bob Hoskins is just like emotionally ripping into him.
Yeah, I wish Bob Hoskins would do more movies.
That's awful.
No, but I was thinking about how much I like Bob Hoskins. Like, I really liked him. He was really good.
Okay, I've never seen it before, and it's always in those circles of the worst movies ever, and I was in the mood, so I watched Battlefield Earth.
I've never seen it.
It was really bad. Every scene change has a middle wipe. So you know how Star Wars does the side wipes? Imagine it from the middle going out.
Oh, just like vertical? Okay.
Yeah, but every scene change.
Yeah, that's weird.
Also, I was reading up on it kind of before I was watching it, and they said every shot is at a Dutch angle, and I was like, okay, every shot is at a Dutch angle. Every shot. And some of them even start off straight, and then as the shot goes, it just tilts. And I was like, fuck. Apparently the director's decision, I think, because he wanted it to look like a comic book. Sometimes it bothers me when I'm reading comic books and they're straight. I have to tilt my own head to make it match.
Oh, man. What? Like a comic book. Has that guy ever read a comic book?
Okay. And the story it's based on the Scientology guy
who
wrote a book.
L. Ron Hubbard.
And I was doing some background reading on this, and when they were making the movie, everyone was just like, it's a Scientology movie. And the people making the movie were trying to get it away from that, and they claim that it doesn't have anything to do with Scientology. But I don't know anything about Scientology, so I don't know if that's true or not. John Travolta wanted to get this movie made for a really long time, and he wanted to be the main hero. But then once it finally got greenlit, said he was too old, so he decided to play the main villain.
Well, that's cool that he was willing to say that.
Well, he also funded this movie a lot on his own to even get it made, because nobody wanted to make it. I know John Travolta can act. He has the ability to act.
Yeah.
What year was Pulp Fiction?
94.
Yeah, so this was around the same time. His acting is so bad. It is just f***ing awful. And I could see if he got forced to be in the movie and just didn't want to be in the movie, so he acted bad on purpose. But he wanted to be in this movie. Like, this was his movie.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen movies where, like, I don't get why John Travolta is doing what he's doing. Because, again, like you said, he can't act. But there are movies where it just seems like he's just not. I don't know. I don't really understand.
Okay, so he's one of the aliens with the dreads or whatever, which you see in all the promotional images. So they're really tall, so they put them on stilts. But they do enough shots where you can see they're just walking around on stilts. So it looks very awkward. They can't move very quickly. So realistically, all the human characters would be able to just run away or walk quickly even. And they would kind of be lumbering after them with their really tall stilts. It was a really bad movie. There's really no redeeming qualities other than this is a really stupid movie. It wasn't even like so bad it's good territory. It was just so bad it's bad. Travolta was marketing the movie at the time because he would say things like, it's like Star Wars, but better.
Well, I mean, episode 1 came out in 1999, so was it better than episode 1?
No.
So it has to be pretty bad then, okay.
I watched The Outlaw Josey Wales, which I've never seen, but I like Eastwood. There's a lot of drama behind this one.
Yeah, I don't know why, but I was reading a little bit about it recently.
Yeah, like he fired the original director and directed it himself. They apparently made a rule where you can't do that, and this was the movie that caused that rule to happen. They call it the Eastwood rule, I guess. I don't know if that's true. But it was a good movie. And I guess this kind of took Westerns in a totally new direction for American Westerns. Because up until that point, Westerns were seen as dying, and it was kind of like the John Wayne thing where it's like the good guy is good, and he's going to help the town against the bad guys. But this was kind of like the turning point, I guess, or started the turning point where there's kind of like an anti-hero thing going on, where sometimes the bad guys had good intentions, that kind of stuff. Like who really is the good guy, that kind of stuff. So there were 2 actors in this movie who were in Killer Clowns from Outer Space. I thought that was weird.
Yeah, Clint Eastwood. I know he plays that giant clown at the end.
I'm pretty sure he was the balloon animal dog. So there's the main dude who's hunting Clint Eastwood. He's the chief of police. in Killer Clowns. But most people know him from Animal House as the Dean. And I was like, okay, I know that guy. But then the other guy showed up, and I said, that guy's in Killer Clowns too. What? That was weird. I watched Bonnie and Clyde, which I've never seen before.
Yeah, Bonnie and Clyde is awesome.
I think I watched that because I'd watched Chinatown, and Faye Dunaway was in that too.
Yeah, see, I had seen it before Chinatown, and I think that's part of why Chinatown wasn't what I was hoping for.
I watched The Professor and the Madman, which is Sean Penn and Mel Gibson about the creation of the first Oxford Dictionary.
Okay, that's weird.
I know. Gibson's production company ended up suing the other one, or the producers or something, because it wasn't what they wanted.
They wanted the Merriam-Webster dictionary.
It was not bad. It was just kind of a generic feeling period piece, I guess. It sounds like it could have been a lot better, though. But, whatever. I watched Swordfish. I was on a Travolta kick, apparently, and I don't even like John Travolta. I don't even know why. And we're going to talk about that one. I'm not going to talk too much about that. I watched Killing Them Softly.
Okay, I wanted to see that.
I thought it was interesting. It felt like a, normal stuff happening in that world of, killing people and stuff. Kind of like a Goodfellas feel, but not as flashy, more just realistic.
I do see Ray Liotta's name on here.
Yeah, he gets killed. That was awesome. That was just the best part, just watching him get the shit beat out of him. But for me, I kind of had a problem with it because it felt almost too normal, like things just happen, and then the movie's over. Which was what it was going for, but I could use a little more drama, I guess. But it felt very much like, this is how it happens. The end. So those are the things I watched. I read the first Marvel Essential, Power Man, and Iron Fist. Once Mary Jo Duffy took over the writing, I liked it a lot more. Mainly because she threw in enough humor into the situations.
Yeah, I looked her up, and I read that she had the most popular run on that, I guess.
That's all I read. You playing any video games now?
I started Final Fantasy VI for the third time.
How far have you gotten in that?
I got up to the opera scene before, which I take it is about halfway. But I've been following along with a... have you been to the site Legends of Localization?
Yeah, I love that site. Yeah.
Yeah, so I've been following along with the adjustments to the translations, I guess, which is very, very helpful because there's a lot of stuff that apparently is completely wrong.
Oh, yeah. That era of localization was just a Wild West. Yeah, I like how he contextualizes a lot of stuff, too.
And I mean, it might be multiple people, too, on this site. I think it might be, because it'll say, who wrote the article or whatever at the top. And I mean, I didn't look too much, but I think some of them are by different people.
Is that all you're playing?
That and Medal of Honor Frontline. I think I'm on, the last level or two. And that game is awesome. I sold that game a long time ago, and I regretted it, and I don't know why I sold it in the first place. But I picked it up somewhere. I think I ordered it on eBay. And I am so glad that I got my hands back on it because it is really, really cool. Definitely one of my favorite PlayStation 2 games. Which is surprising for just being just a World War II first-person shooter. But it's really creative. Lots of really unique things in the game where it's not just going around shooting people. It's really cool.
I think 6 is one of the best ones, though, personally.
Yeah, that seems to be kind of the consensus.
I mean, it depends on which era of people you're talking about.
Well, I know people like 10-2 a lot, so...
Well, most young people playing through this series aren't even familiar with 1 through 6, really.
Yeah, I mean, when I see rankings of the whole series, 6 is usually pretty high up there.
Yeah, which I feel like it deserves to be up there. But again, everyone has their personal opinions, and just saying it's the best. I could say it's one of my favorites, but I'm not going to tell other people which ones are the best.
Yeah.
Some people like 2, and we call them sadists. I played Little Nightmares 2. I liked the first one a lot. I felt it had great atmosphere. While it had some gameplay stuff that I felt could have been refined, I thought overall it was an excellent game.
Mm-hmm.
And so when the second one was announced, I made sure to pick it up, and I really liked that one too.
Okay, I was afraid you were going to say that it sucked or something.
No, I was afraid it was going to suck. I was just afraid it was going to do that thing where the first one's popular, so then whatever studio gets really involved and says, we just need to get another one out because it will make money.
Mm-hmm.
and just the creepiness of everything. It's not just that things are creepy, it's the way they present everything. And there are times when stuff would happen and it would just make me laugh because it was so good, you know? And then scream because it was so scary.
Then you'd go to bed and have little nightmares.
So I did finish it. I'm trying to think of other games I played.
Tic-tac-toe, checkers.
Jax. That Mortal Kombat spin-off. I'm going to end this then.
Okay, like and subscribe.